enforcement agencies. Unparalleled scene, unimaginable to watch Los Angeles burn like that. Riots like this, I would say, happened way back in American history. Now, Donald Trump's decision to send 700 US Marines and 4,000 National Guard troops to the LA area to support the federal response to the unrest has opened a volatile chapter in the mass deportation campaign. So the illegal immigration is not only an issue which is very specific to Europe, it is central to the American politics. It is central to the American politics. And US Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem has pledged to carry out even more operations to round up suspected immigration violators, extending crackdown that provoked the protest. Trump officials have branded the protest as lawless and blamed states and local Democrats for permitting upheaval and protecting undocumented immigrants. And the last time such riots happened was in 1992. The military was used for the direct police action under the Insurrection Act in 1992 when the California governor at the time asked President H.W. Bush to help respond to Los Angeles riots over the acquittal of police officer who beat the black motorist. Let me straight away go to Ambassador Ashok Sajjanhar. Is this the new frontier of the American politics, sir?
Well, thank you very much, Kartikeya. That's what it appears. You know, as you said, it is most surprising and it is totally unimaginable that something like this would happen here. And, you know, if something like this were to happen, then they should have been able to control it also very, very quickly. It shouldn't have been allowed to get out of hand like it has done here. You know, now it's been going on for the last 4 days. And, you know, in terms of law enforcement agencies and forces, more and more are being put into operation. But so far it doesn't really appear as if, you know, much headway is being made on that. And in addition to that, it is spreading to other cities, you know, like New York, Philadelphia, San Francisco, you know, there are other places. Also, it is spreading to. So I think this is a matter of great worry. We know that the United States is highly polarized between the Republicans and the Democrats. And here there is a conflict, a confrontation, a direct confrontation between the state administration and the federal administration. And that, you know, cannot be a very healthy sign for a federal structure, democratic structure, as we go forward, because none of them is willing to relent.
The bite of US President Donald Trump, very quickly.
Well, the biggest change from that statement is we have an incompetent governor. So I talked about governors, but I didn't talk about he's an incompetent governor. Look at the job he's doing in California. He's destroying one of our great states. And if I didn't get involved, if we didn't bring the guard in, and we would bring more in if we needed it, because we have to make sure there's going to be law and order. You had a disaster happening, and they now admit it was a disaster. I watched the chief yesterday, who's a good man, by the way, and he said, "Wow, we're lucky we did this because they were overwhelmed. You saw what was happening."
Is it correct to say, Ambassador Sajjanhar, that the America and Europe are reaping what they have sowed? They have broken established states throughout the world through their economic policies and direct military action.
Yeah, you're right. And I think they have provided, you know, safe havens in their own countries. And without much checks and balances that has gone. And I think all these countries are, you know, veering increasingly to the right. But I think here, if you were to look at what is happening in Los Angeles, I think it's also, one, there is a problem, and the other is how you deal with the problem. And the fact that the Marines have been called in, you know, and the Marines are basically a military fighting force with that you put into action when you have operations with some foreign adversarial powers, and not really bring them on for policing actions within your own country. So I think these measures are also seen to be provocative, and that lends even greater energy to the protesters and to the demonstrators, and they tend to become even more violent. So I think there needs to be also in terms of the manner in which you deal with these protests and demonstrations that take place. And the more, such forces that you put on the road, the more provocative they can be, and then they result in, getting matters out of hand. We have had such experiences here in the country. Meaning, you would recall that, after this CA protest, the Shaheen Bagh protests, and so many others, when they sat there and in terms of the difficulties and problems that they caused to citizenry, normal citizenry, people, those who had to travel from one part of the city to other, but they were just not able to do that. So, in that context, it was not force that was used. It was, through legal means, through legal processes, etc., that you went about it. And you were able to get, the desired result. And this is what we see here, that this, very peremptory manner, very impulsive manner, what Mr. Trump is seen to be doing, not only in the domestic context, but also in the global context. You see what he's doing with Canada, that's going to be the 51st state, that it gave a lease of life to the Liberal Party in Canada, meaning the Conservatives were riding strong, but then because Trump came in so heavy at them. Similarly was the case in Australia with Albanese, with Prime Minister Tony Albanese. So, meaning globally and domestically, because he's so aggressive and he's so peremptory, and that the results are entirely the opposite that he seeks out to achieve.
I would say that he's making a joke of the White House the way Elon Musk issue has panned out. Thank you so much, Ambassador Sajjanahar. I have really run short of time. Thank you, sir. Thank you. And this is the state of Los Angeles, better known as LA, and this is how the government in Washington and the one in California, they are unable to resolve the issue. But the larger context is immigration, and immigrant politics is there to stay in Europe and America, and it is of their making, not of the making of the other states. And this was all we have had on Point tonight. I will see you tomorrow at the same time. Thank you and good night.
Silence of the night, where the roads carry.
Let there be dark. Scorpio N Carbon is here, the big daddy of SUVs.
Fertility rates in South India have dropped more sharply.
In the future, you can see it going further down.